Hi, my name is V and I am the author of Memoirs of a Forgotten Child. If you have been with me for the last 11 vlogs, you know I'm doing a daily vlog countdown until my book release Sunday, February 14th, also known as Valentine's Day. Yesterday I talked about the difference between men and women who confess that they've gone through sexual abuse. Today I'll be discussing how do you approach a person who has been through sexual abuse or you suspect. Now, because sexual abuse is such a traumatic and taboo topic, you shouldn't outright just be, hey, just a question. Were you molested when you were a kid? Because it may be taken as you're being facetious, or you're trying to be funny, or you're just rude. And most people will not tell you unless they feel comfortable enough to tell you. So if anything, I would open up a trust. I would let them know that anything you want to talk about, I am the person, and I would be consistent with it. I wouldn't just say it, but I would show it, I would prove it. And you have to build a mutual trust. You have to build respect, and you have to be consistent. So it's not something that you just ask and then 2 minutes later a person just tells you all. Now there's some people, they may be comfortable with it, and those are people who usually talk about it. They talk about it freely. They're open. They have healed from it. They have passed from it. It's just an experience like scraping their knee. Of course, it's on a different level, but they don't have a media attachment to it where they feel like they need to keep it a secret, where they feel like this is something that makes them dirty or something that defiles them. They look at it as an experience and not something that they chose, but it happened to them, and now they can live their life and be powerful human beings. Most people who have gone through it, it's a secret, it's a shame. So they're not going to confess it, they're not going to talk about it or be open with it unless they know there's a mutual respect. So if I were to talk to someone and I suspect that it's going on, I would, if they don't know my story already, I would tell them, you know, if there's anything that you need to talk about, I'm the person for you. I know we all go through things in life. I would tell them my story because it usually ends up like that. I tell you my story, then someone's like, I want to tell you my story. Or they feel like there's understanding, there's a judge-free zone. So they're like, okay, now that you told me your story, now I feel more inclined to tell you my story. And that's how it typically starts when I talk about sexual abuse. Now for a person who has never gone through it, let's say you're in a relationship and you're the male and it's your girlfriend and you feel like she has been through it, but you don't know, I personally would ask her, you know, what have you gone through in your childhood? Have you ever gone through anything traumatic? And like I said, if you have a really good relationship, you have a really good trust factor, she may beat around the bush, but there's certain signals that she will tell you. Like, she might not tell you sexual abuse, but she's like, you know, I've gone through things, some things that I don't want to talk about, some things that were really bad and happened in the family, certain code words you pick up, and then you're more inclined to make the judgment that, yeah, she's saying it without saying it. And from there, you could make the judgment where it's like, okay, you can go into details with it where you're like, okay, what traumatic things, what happened in the family, but don't press the person. Make them feel like it's a free conversation. It's a give and take factor. It's not like you're interrogating them, not like that you're interviewing them. It's just a conversation. Sometimes it is a situation where you have to pull out the information because the person doesn't know if they feel comfortable enough to tell you. But if you are a person that they trust, someone that they do respect, someone that they feel comfortable with, they will tell you. But only time will tell. It's not something that people just talk about freely, and they have to be able to want to tell you. You can't force someone to tell you. Even if you know this for a fact, a family member has told you, they're not going to say, yes, it happened to me, if they don't feel like they can tell you that. Or they feel like what they tell you will change your judgment on them, or their confidentiality with you. You'll go out and tell your friends and tell your family. They need to be able to know that when they come to you, you'll still respect them, you'll still love them, you'll still support them, you'll still see them for who they want you to see them as. You'll still see them and respect them and love them. And that's one thing I notice with a lot of survivors is that not only do they not tell because they don't want to be judged or face the fact that it happens to them, they also don't want how a person, especially someone that they love, see them in a different light. They don't want someone who they love to see them as disgusting or no longer worthy or undesirable. Because everybody wants to be desired, everybody wants to be loved, everybody wants to be respected. So I think with a lot of survivors, it's one of those situations where it's like, if I feel that you come to me and it's an equal exchange and it's equal experience, equal conversation, then they're more inclined to share. But if it's judgmental, or if you're being nosy, or they just don't know if you're trustworthy, they're not going to tell you. So it's really, time will tell. You would have to build that trust factor. It may take you weeks, months, and maybe even years. It depends on the person and how willing they are to face it, but not only face it, but share it. So yeah. It's not, I wish I could tell you like, so first step 1, you do this, and then step 2 will lead you to that, and then probably step 3, it's not. It's a case-by-case situation, but if you are sincere, trustworthy, respectable, loving, consistent, the person is bound to tell you. Because it's something a lot of survivors want to tell, but they don't know how to tell. No matter how to tell someone that you were molested, or how to tell someone that you were raped. And like I said, society sees it as such a taboo, such a secrecy, even though it's very prevalent. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to be that person. No one wants to be the face of rape or the face of molestation. It's not something that you say that you want to achieve. It's not something that you say since you were a kid. Like, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a policeman. I want to be the advocate for it. No one wants that. But no one wants to be judged, and no one wants to live with such a burden on their chest. That is today's video. Hope it helped. Hope it helped you. And if it didn't, and you know someone it could help, please pass on this video to them. Like I said, I am doing a daily vlog countdown until my book release this Sunday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. And like always, see you on the next vlog.